The muzzle is off. Let go of the shame, remove all the pain, block it out like a troll on your timeline. The past is what made you who you are today. Embrace it, let it go like an exhale. Remove it, remove it, remove it. The muzzle is off.
Well, that didn't go over right. You know what? How about that? Okay. This is what happens when you're doing things off the cuff. Anyway, welcome, y'all. Welcome to the Muzzle Is Off Podcast, where I am your host, Nakia Monet. And we have two very special guests with us here tonight. Let's see, who do we have here? Now, we have Leroy Lefty Thompson. Welcome, my brother.
What's going on, sis?
Can you hear him? Because he's so far away from the mic.
I can hear him now.
That mic can pick up anything.
Let me tell you something. This mic will pick up a cat meowing outside. That's like how powerful these mics are. Sis, you good. You got Blue Yeti. That's not free advertisement for them. Let me point that out.
Yeah,
that's not free advertisement.
Sponsors, right?
Anyway, but we got some of the best mics out here. So yes, we can definitely hear him. It picks up all the sounds. So welcome, my brother Leroy Lefty Thompson. Welcome. Yes. Then, of course, we have my sister, my confidant, the person that will definitely text me and be like, sis, did you really want to say that? And I'm like, yeah, and I don't care. Sis, you might want to fall. Don't do that again. You're sounding a little angry. The one whom will definitely tell me all about me and not care. Dr.edu. Dr. Angel. OJ. Holcomb. Welcome. Okay. Yes. Dr.edu. Okay. That's certified doctor for those who don't understand what I'm trying to say.
Y'all are funny.
I'm just saying it's .edu.
You are hilarious.
I told her, I said, next time she come up on here, her name got to be Angel.edu, Dr. Holcomb. Okay, we got to have that, huh?
I put the PhD on the end this time, but yeah, we are here. We are on.
I had to widen it so y'all know I'm extra. Don't do me. So I had to widen it right there so that all things can be seen. Okay. Because that PH.D came from a .edu, certified, okay, doctorate, okay, right, from the Department of Education.
You are funny. You are hilarious.
I'm just putting that out there so everybody know this ain't from sister.
What do you have in that cup? What you have?
It's not Folgers. It's all right.
Listen here. The best part of being on the Muzzle Is Off podcast right here. What that say? Muzzle Is Off podcast.
I love it.
You drink your M&M. You understand? Monet's mine, yeah. Okay.
Just like that.
You know,
hilarious.
okay, so, and this is why I love them. I don't think y'all understand, because this is how we converse. This is how we speak.
Yeah,
This is how we build relationship.
it
You know,
definitely is.
there's no pretense. There's no none of that stuff. We build it authentically because we understand the art of conversation and the art of having a relationship. And that was why when I decided to do this topic, when I decided to do this show, I said, okay, I need my sis and I need my bro on here because I think that it's very imperative for people to understand that while we know Black love exists, we don't know it exists because there's so much. And you know, Angel, you can give your good background because when you study the social constructs of this world, you begin to understand why there's such a gloomy outlook on the Black family structure and dynamic, right?
Yeah,
I could talk about that.
Yeah, because it's important to talk about it, right? So that's why we here tonight, because I said, number one, I want us to understand that as Black people, as a collective, Black love does exist and it is very strong. It's not just a docuseries that we saw on whatever that TV channel was with people whom we can't touch or feel, but it's an everyday thing. And it is definitely something that we can grab a hold of and that we can have, but there are just probably some things that we might need to let go of. And then there are some things that we might need to embrace in order to understand that, y'all, we could do this. So let's go. What is Black love to y'all?
Well, what was the question you initially brought up about the Black family?
Well, basically we basically had over time, I want to say kind of like a deconstruction of the Black family dynamic. The you know, and that, I mean, we know that happened way back in slavery where the Black man was really dehumanized and made to feel less than a man because he was Black. And then post-slavery, in order for the Black woman to receive assistance for the family, we understand that the government put in stipulations so that the Black man couldn't even be in a household.
Ooh.
Right?
Further.
Go ahead. Go. Bro, take it further.
How about now?
Well, we would, now. Go ahead.
How about now? I mean, you look at what's going on today now. I mean, you know, of course, it's obvious that I do music. So when you look at it now, and me doing music and being able to converse with different people and have that level of conversation, you know, you start to see who's who in the room. And one of the main things that I've seen, I see a lot of guys that look just like me, middle class, just as chocolate and light skin as whatever, and they really want wives. So you got this infrastructure, you got this structure now, even when it comes down to men being bachelors and women being bachelorettes and things like that, and have before they even find that one person, you got to look at the living quarters of it all and how it's all systematically done. So what's so funny about it is story, just a quick story. There was this one guy that came to a place that I used to play at, and he was excited. He was excited that he got engaged, and he was talking about how him and his girl, well, his fiance, was going around looking for apartments. And I said, ugh, ouch. Really? You looking for an apartment? He's like, yeah, you know, we're going to be in the apartment. I was like, well, I put it to you like this. Name me what's inside of that apartment. What's in that apartment? He's like, what do you mean? He's like, there's a bedroom, there's a living room, a kitchen, and a bathroom. I was like, you don't see nothing wrong with it? He was like, no. I was like, see, that's where you jacked up. You jacked up because the very main thing, the very first thing you you've done after approaching that woman, you asked her to go out on a date. And then from that date, you were compelled to take her to, you were waiting to be seated at a table. The dining room is there for conversation, communication. They've taken that out of a lot of apartments today. There's no such thing. It's like you got to build. And until the point where now it's like, you're moving in an apartment with your fiance and you don't even have a dining room. You don't have a dining room. There's nothing you could do or nothing. I mean, you have to go out to have that conversation, and the family, the dining room represents the family. So where's that family time? It's gone. They systematically did that on purpose. So for us to even have a conversation or a level of conversation of love or togetherness or planning, we have to bring back the round table. We have to bring back the dining room, the thing that kept the family together, which was communication, dinners, all that stuff. We don't have that anymore. So I just wanted to start off with that. When you start talking about family, that's a major part of the family, the dining room, bringing everything together.
Well, I definitely agree. If I can just chime in, I think, for me, one of the biggest things that when I think of Black love and I look at that dynamic of what Black love is, first of all, it's the dynamic of Black people. Okay. There are so many different, things at work from a social construct that have just discouraged people from being Black and being in love with each other. I mean, I am 46. Do you want to tell how old you are, babe?
Doesn't matter.
He's 40. I'm 46. So I'm not robbing a cradle and he's not robbing a grave. We're not that far apart in age, because I know that's a question that a lot of people have been asking. And that's probably because he looks so much younger than me. But one of the things that, often comes to mind is that, people nowadays, they're dating outside of their race. Now, I don't want to come on here trying to, start no mess on your Muzzles Off podcast. But
it's off. Go ahead.
The matter is, at 46, well, we've been together almost 4 years. Okay, but together too, right? So I was at a point in my situation where I didn't think that I was going to either A, get married, or I was going to marry somebody that was not Black. I had conceded that, you know what? Listen, I conceded that if the person that I fell in love with happened to be a different race, that I would marry them, because, unfortunately, as Black women, we tend in our community to be the one that has more of the education. We earn more of the money. And so there are a lot of dynamics that, if you are not a secure Black man, would intimidate you from dating a sister. Now, I don't know how many people on here would agree with that statement, but as one who this is my lane of genius, so to speak, I understand the social dynamic and all of the different things that can come into play where, that can be problematic. So for me, the joy in my relationship with him is, first of all, that I have a Black man, and that I am glad that he is a deep, dark chocolate Godiva bar, because a lot of women that are, and sis, let's just be honest. If we're going to be honest tonight, let's be honest.
Okay.
You and I and Sierra and Tamika and Walida, when we get together, you have your little Casamigos, I have my lemon drop, and I have my lemon drop martini. A lot of our conversations have been, you know what? Listen, I'm willing to try another way. And, it's... people are looking at Black women like we are wrong now because we want to explore other options. But I'm going to be honest with you. We have not been left with a lot of options. And that's an honest answer.
It is.
So, for me, I had started to allow my mind to segue that way, but fortunately he came along and changed it before it got that out of hand and that out of control, because, you know, it was starting to feel like this was never going to be a thing in my life. So I thank God for that. But back to what he was saying about communication, the breakdown of the Black family is because they have stripped the masculinity and the authority of the Black man out of the household. I honestly believe that, as you said earlier, with everything from the way that they have set up the ability to have government assistance to the buck breaking process that we have seen back in slavery, where they have emasculated men, where they have raped our men, where they
in front of our faces.
And you know, people may disagree and it may be controversial what I'm about to say, but a lot of the things that we see in current society were things that, when you look at the work of Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, was something that was predicted. Men wearing dresses, things of that nature. I'm not saying, listen, do you, so don't come at me. But what I'm saying is,
don't at my sister.
But these are the results of a social construct that has been set up and designed to eliminate the influence and the authority of the Black man, not only in the household, but in the community at large. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, you remember a time when we were coming up, if somebody did something crazy, you could beat everybody's kids. Everybody could beat everybody's kids. Everybody, you do something wrong, Miss May down the street was going to beat you. Mama Lo, Auntie Teresa, somebody was going to snatch you up. And so, you know, in our community now, we see a lot of Black men that are now vocal. We see a lot of Black men that have now said, no, you're not going to keep raping our women. You're not going to tell us how to raise our children. We are going to discipline them. We're going to educate them the way that we want them to. And that comes from having the ability to allow your husband to lead, which is a thing that we as Black women, we got to come on through in that area. And I mean, no, I haven't made it down the aisle yet. But the reality is, I have absolutely no problem when he says something, allowing that to be the final authority on what it is that happens. Now, a lot of people would look at us and they'll be like, oh, you know, you guys are a complete mismatch. He's a total creative. You're a total nerd. But this is a man, and I'm going to toot his own horn because I know he's not going to do it. But this is a man that has been a working, traveling abroad, meaning overseas, musician, professional drummer since he was 15. Okay, so this is not somebody that just kind of grew up in the hood and that's all he knows. This is a cultured man. This is a man that has a lot of life experience. This is a man that has done his craft at a very high level from the time he began his career. Am I right?
Yeah, well, since a child, since a baby. I mean, there's also a balance. It's also knowing your place and who you're dealing with. I've been through a lot. Definitely dealing with, I mean, and just to be told, musicians have it the worst. When it comes down to finding a significant other. I'm gonna tell you why.
Yeah, please tell us why.
I'm gonna tell you why, because you really don't know who's for you or who's just around you just because you got a little bit of light. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Then at the same time, you know, I've dated models, dancers, and everybody was different. The family, the young lady that had both parents in her family, the ones that didn't have their dad, you know, and every last relationship was a whole nother dynamic. Mm-hmm. You know, and even as traveling and me being that person, to travel around, I always reached and wanted to have my significant other to come on out on tours. Ain't nothing to hide. Come on through. You know, I got my own room. You know, just come in and have a good time. I miss you. Let's just do that. And I've been stood up because guess what? It's not always the dude. Sometimes it's the women.
Talk about it.
And real talk, I've been at the airport like, oh wow, you really didn't show up. I just wasted all this money for you not to show up. Seriously, that's what we're doing. So I've been there. I've been there, done that, and I've also been in a place with with the young lady that had both parents, and me not being a regular, just a regular guy. I'm not going to say average because there's nothing wrong with being average. I wasn't able to be home. And there's the insecurities and then the crazy stuff that goes along with that. And no matter how hard I try to make you feel secure, you're just not a good fit for my lifestyle.
Right.
I had to leave that situation. and then I had my own pair. We're both, I had to learn, and I had to learn it the hard way in a very, very dark time in my life where we were both in the same field, but I also learned how selfish I was in dating myself. This person was like my mirror. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize how selfish I was. And the reason why I say selfish is because, we love to travel. We love to do this, that, and other. But me being brought up with both parents, 12 uncles, every last one of them married, families. Like I come from that. I come from that. In my circle of friends, all of them are dope. They're all fly. They all look great. Most of them, and they're all married. Most of them are married. I would say 98% of them are married. And and then also, I just think it's really funny because God put me in a situation where I was a part of a band, and most of the band was married. Most of the band was married, so it's like that is for me, marriage, and I've been around it, and I'm just happy to be able to look into different relationships and figure out what went wrong and how, where I went wrong first, and then how everything went straight to hell. But I mean, I think this situation that I'm in now is a good fit. I don't have to worry about all the crazy stuff.
I mean, I think it's a good fit too, but that's just my opinion.
But coming from creative and a point of view and experiences that I had, I'm in the best place. Actually, I'm in the best place that I could be. Only because, like I said, there's a level of maturity and a level of understanding.
Yes.
So I have to. It took me a while to get here. It took me a good while to get here because of everything that I've been through. Because of all that. No, I wasn't jaded or angry at anybody. I just needed to understand where did things go wrong so I don't make the mistakes all over again. And every situation that I've been in, I'm able to say it went wrong here and went wrong here. And guess what? And everybody that I actually dated or that I've been with or whatever, we're all still cool until this day. And it's, they done messed around. Why are you making your face? They done messed around and had babies, got married, and all that other stuff. So it's a cool thing.
We're going to address what Donnie just put up here because, when you are a creative, right, and there's many different facets of being a creative, people that naturally create whatever it is that you're creating, whether it be music, whether it be you're a singer, whether it be you're a level of an artist. Donnie is, Donnie's my personal trainer. He creates, right? He creates the image that people want as far as how they live their lifestyle healthily, and then it begins to transform their bodies, right? So he said some ladies thinking you're in a hotel cheating with groupies when really you're watching the games, ESPN, falling in and out of sleep 17 times, getting some much needed good rest. Like, you're not even doing anything that they're necessarily accusing you of, but due to those insecurities that you brought up, you're being accused 1,000 times over. And it reminds me of like that Keisha Cole song, like I should have cheated. Because I promise you, sometimes I go back in my memory and I'm like, I really should have cheated on you. Like I probably should have did that. I'm sorry. But it's just not in my character, but I should have.
But even like women get it they get it the worst, for real. When like a female version of me, they get it 3 times worse. Only because the guys that they end up with, they don't understand the art. They don't understand the culture. They don't understand the lifestyle. And then don't let that guy be like the provider and all that other stuff. Yo, your entire show is shut down. And that's why a lot of our female artists that are out there, they have a hard time finding somebody, and they spend all their life, their career is their husband. That's that. There's nothing, you're not breaking past that. Unless you got a whole wad of money and you like Puff Daddy or whoever, that's that. You can forget it. There's no way around it. Trust me. I see it. And I'm watching young women that I've been on the road with and did shows with 2000, and they still look the same doing the same thing. Ain't thinking about no dude.
Well, but you're not sharing with her how you were telling me there was a time that Black women wouldn't even date you.
Oh my God. Jesus.
There was a time, and I remember when he was telling me this story because, he did a lot of work over in Europe. And so, I hate to say it, but I don't know if you do this, but, when I find a good one, what I think is a good one, and, you start having that real in-depth interview after they get through like that first 100 days and you start asking them nosy questions. I was like, well, why aren't you married? Or, he was like, well, I was engaged twice. And, whatever he said, but I always knew I wanted to marry a Black woman. That was what he said. And he said, and for a time, Black women would not even date me. And I looked at him like he was crazy. Because do you know that in our sister girl group, we're like, where they at? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Where they at? And he was like, no, for a
yeah,
they better not be there. But
ain't nobody here. That's the problem.
And I remember he was like, for a season, for a time, Black women wouldn't even date me. Can you talk about that, babe?
Oh, well, here you go. Well, I was doing a lot of rock. I was doing alternative rock. Michael Tolcher, Gavin DeGraw, Howie Day, Maroon 5, all those guys. That's the Hansons.
The Hansons. So that's it all, right?
That's the whole.
I mean, you had me at Maroon 5. Everybody else, I'm like, okay.
Blondie.
So all that. So
that was.
So with those gigs comes a whole nother swag. It's a whole nother swag. Like now you could do this. You could do this right now in a alternative rock gig, right? But guess what? Our women weren't accepted of that.
Not back then.
No. To this at that time.
Yeah. Like, no.
I was a little more fit. I had.
But you had a red mohawk or a blue mohawk or something crazy. Like you were walking around with like he like a punk rocker. He actually did. So I can understand why we wouldn't.
But even with that, I had a straight low cut, and I just had a regular t-shirt, some ripped jeans, and some boots. We're talking about 2000 now. Okay. 2000.
But were you approaching Black women?
First of all, yes. And then on top of that, if I did approach them, even they were like on the white side. You gotta remember, it's a whole nother deal dealing with that circle of music. The fan club is totally different.
You're right.
The women are different. Matter of fact, because I have a little edge, that was the thing that kind of like turned them on, but turned them off because they didn't know what to expect. Oh, this dude is from the hood. Who's this? What is that? I can actually speak. I can speak without ebonics, but that's what they were looking for. So when I'll never forget getting, coming home from like a 8-year stretch touring. I'll never forget, like when I tell you not one sister would look at me, not one. And that was when I was just, coming back to, normal. My gear was different, instead of the Jordans, I was wearing shoes. I put away the Timbs. It was just really on some grown and sexy. But
we wasn't with it in the 2000s yet.
Yeah, now they're with it. They weren't with that back then.
No.
I was doing Zara and H&M before Zara and H&M was here.
Well, yeah, because they was in Europe. They wasn't here. Yeah.
So now you go to H&M now. There's a H&M for plus size. Wait till you see that out here in the US. Now. So that's what that was. I think it had a lot to do with swag, and also like they felt that energy of like white women around me, I guess. And that's and that's just and that's what it was. And
see, but you stood true to what you wanted. Like you said from the beginning, I knew I wanted to marry a Black woman.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, those are I had to learn. I had to go through stuff, and then when I got into my first and my only relationship with a white woman, I'll never forget. I was like, it's a cultural difference, big time. And after that, I was like, I can't do that anymore. That's why it didn't work. That's exactly why it didn't work. And she wasn't a bad person. I thought she was dope, but it just wasn't going to work. It wasn't.
Sis, if I could just hop in, the reason why I wanted him to kind of talk about that is because, a lot of times, and we're talking about Black love specifically tonight, we can become so very disenchanted with a lot of the ideologies and the different things that we have dealt with from Black men that it will turn us completely off. I mean, thank God for you and I, it didn't happen like that.
Yeah, I would not turn off my Black man.
Here's the thing, he and I, we have a lot of extreme differences, but we also have a lot of things that are very nuanced. We have a lot of things that, when we look at, I have a PhD, and he's a creator. He doesn't have children and he desires children. I have one daughter and I have 3 grandchildren. You know what I mean? And so for him being transplanted into my life, where, it's like, okay, you get a whole grown daughter and 3 grandkids. 2 that are with us a lot, and he's with the grandkids a lot more than I am, honestly. We have to understand that there are, as much as things may have not looked on paper, and I want to say this because I want to say this to women who in their mind have a set list. And I was one of those women, sis. I was one of those women. Your sister. You don't get to be Dr. OJ by not having a measure of, complexity about certain things in your life. I had a list. They had to have this. They had to have that. There were so many different things that I felt were non-negotiable in order for me to have a mate. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of men, they are very intimidated when it comes to trying to approach somebody. It's like, she got that going on. She got that going on. And don't be in church, because then they're going to think, you a holy roller, something. And I hate to say it, but, speaking in tongues at the table is not something that you probably want to do on the first or second or any date. For me, you know, I can't say when he knew, but I knew when I knew. I knew when I really saw his heart for family, when I saw that he was definitely stable in his mind.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of men who are definitely unstable in their mind, and it doesn't come out until other ways. I had the advantage of knowing his mother, and I knew her really before I knew him, because she was my first Bible school teacher. And who knew that all of these years later, it would be something that would turn into what it's turned into. But, you know, there were a lot of different things that I had to not necessarily cross off my list, but there were a lot of things that I had going on in my mind with what it was that I was supposed to have. You know, I'm J13 is tomorrow. And so, you know, a lot of times when you're Greek, they automatically think that you're supposed to be with a Q or a Kappa.
That's right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That you're supposed to be, you know, with an iota. Well, nobody really wants to be with an iota, but I'm gonna leave that alone. But you know, I'm gonna leave the people alone. You know
what happens when you got EDU
and different things that, you know, you automatically have in your mind that, you know, we're going to have this, you know, picture perfect family, and this is how it's going to be. And I'll be honest, when I pictured my husband prior to this man showing up in my life, if I had allowed that list to get in the way of what it was that God had for my life, I would have been messed up. And one of the things that I definitely want to encourage people is, you said not an iota. That's right, Sarah. But, you know, the reality is, you know, don't let people and their, you know, power of positive thinking, The Secret, don't allow your friends to pick your mate. Don't allow
at all.
I'm going to say something. And those of you who know, you know, I am a pastor. I was ordained a pastor in October, to which he was right there. He made sure that I had everything for my ordination in every way. Afterwards, we all went out. We had Kiki. We had a good time. But the reality is, you can't even allow the church to dictate who you marry.
Please don't.
And I'm going to tell you why. Because I know men that speak in tongues and beat their wives.
Cheat on them, beat them.
I know men that have titles and no integrity.
None whatsoever.
I know men that, you know, he buy Shata, Toyota, Honda. He's coming, and all of those things, no money, no integrity, no bank account. They need you for everything. They got 3 and 4 women.
Close the door.
They got 3 and 4 women in the same church. Okay.
Close the door.
All right. I just need somebody in the audience to help me tonight if I'm saying anything that remotely resembles something that you. Because one thing I've learned is that, you know, and I'll say this. Me being someone who was not necessarily raised in church, he was raised in church. He comes from a line of his uncles. He has 2 uncles that are whole pastors. Aunt that is
pastor missionary.
I have the best mother-in-law in the world, Dr. Eleanor Thompson, who is a real doctor. I believe it's pastoral care or something on that level. And to me, him coming from that, but him being a musician that was in the world, if I would have listened to people tell me about who it was that I was supposed to be married to, you're a Delta, you're a doctor, you're this is what you're supposed to have, you know, this is what you come from, you're a Jack and Jill kid, all of these things, girl.
Are you a Jack and Jill?
Yeah.
Me too.
You know, you a Jill to cotillion, honey, and then you cross over, and then you become a Deltine, and then you become a Delta. I know that other people are going to say something different, but anybody that knows that Crimson Cream is the cream of the crop. But anyway, the reality is that if I would have listened to what it was that the standard by other people's whatever was, I would not be happy right now.
You'd be like that, miserable.
Well, because I've seen it. I've seen people marry people that they hate. I've seen people marry people.
Arranged marriages.
Yeah, I've seen people marry people that are gay. Like, you know, they don't like people with the parts that you got, and you marry them anyway. Why? Because they're a pastor. I know nobody wants to hear that, but for me, if anything, I tell people all the time, I waited a long time to get married. So when you see this man right here,
come on, that's
you
my
better
brother.
know that it was my decision, it was my choice, it was prayer, it was trial and error, it was us breaking up a couple times. And I'll be honest, I'll own it. There were times where I just, like the first part of our relationship, I was like, this is not gonna be a thing. Okay. So I'm just gonna enjoy whatever I'm gonna enjoy until it doesn't work anymore. And then I'm gonna move on until one day it was like, I looked up and I was like, he ain't called me today. I was like, wait a minute. What you mean you ain't called me today? You know what I'm saying? If I would have allowed what the church has taught me about what a marriage should be or who you should be married to, I would not be happy right now. And when I tell you that I am the happiest that I have ever been in my life with this man right here, my pastor / sis is on, and yes, I was something because she was there. She witnessed our whole relationship. You know, she witnessed me fussing. She witnessed me, carrying on. But I'm gonna tell you another thing that sealed it for me. He somehow always knew when I needed him. You know what? I'll come back to that statement.
Mm-hmm.
What was a deal breaker with us? What was a deal breaker?
Wow. Deal breaker. I can't do church women. Like people that
Bro, come on. What you can't do? Mm-hmm.
He said he can't do.
I can't do church. I can't do women that are too church or just church, like over churched.
That church brain.
On my nerves.
On my nerve too. Go ahead.
At the highest.
Don't do him, sis. Mute her mic. She can't talk right now. Go ahead, bro. Thank you, sis. Go over there. Mm-hmm.
At the high, because there's so many of them.
Right.
So many of them. I mean, I could just be out at a concert function or whatever, and I see them. They holier than. Oh my goodness. Oh, wow. Hello. Woo. I mean that I can't. I just can't. I mean,
you're not allowed to talk.
Like you, but I'm just saying I can't do.
You're married to a whole pastor.
Yeah, but I'm not. But I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that. I already know what it is.
I'm about to throw a flag on you. Stop it.
Man, but you know what I'm talking about because they just get. Oh, that's got to be the most stressful thing that bothers me.
Let's say this though, sis. Let's bring it full circle. You're not over churched.
I'm not over church now.
Yeah, you were.
Because he can tell you that before we started dating. Okay, so here's the story. Before we started dating each other, we knew of each other because we attended the same church. We both attended New Greater Bethel Ministries in Queens, right?
Come on, New Greater. Okay.
And he was the drummer at New Greater Bethel. And at that time, New Greater Bethel was in its heyday, which means that he had the pick of the litter when it came to whatever it was he wanted to do.
There was litter. We get it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, but we wasn't thinking about each other like that. And he says because all I wore was jean skirts and I ran around the church.
Listen. Nah. Here's the deal.
That's what you said.
First of all,
you had said all I wore was jean skirts.
No,
and
first of all, you were in your own lane. You were in your own lane. But as far as the folk over there at that spot, at that church, They were all dressed up like nigga nuns.
You can't say. Can he say that on your
He
rock?
can say whatever he wants to. That's my brother. Go ahead, bro. Tell him what they was dressed like.
Nigga nuns.
That's right. Go ahead.
Nigga nuns.
They was suited up, bro.
Nuns.
They was
They
suited up.
all serious. They got the short haircut that look like a high top fade.
Sis jeans,
with
skirts, with stockings, socks, and sneakers.
Yo, I couldn't do it. I'm like, and then the thing is, and then the ones that were like half and half, like girl, you know your booty big. Why like what's wrong? What's wrong?
Get over there in the corner.
But like they wanted to be holy, but they still wanted to show that, you know, they wanted to they had that all kind of black thing going on.
I'm telling your mother.
Go ahead, tell her. For real. Because she was, matter of fact, my mother was probably one of the ones that pulled them girls over to the side, be like, now you know,
she did.
Now you know this is a little too tight for you.
And Auntie Ronnie.
And I'm like, for real, like I've seen it all. I've seen it all. I'm telling you, these nigga nuns are real, and they're all in the holiest of holiest church.
Right.
But at the same time, but now they changed their uniform.
What they in there, bro?
Oh man, listen. Now, like, thank God for Mary and Mary.
Thank God for Mary, right?
Because now they're dressed up like, you know, now I put it to you like this. Now the church, I would say the First Day Church, because I do have a bit of the Adventist background.
I was so shady.
You know, listen, we keeping it 100, right?
Yes, we are. Muzzle is
all
off.
right, cool. So now it's cool to be sexy and holy at the same time. I can kind of sort of deal with that. I could kind of sort of deal with that. She's sexy and holy and conservative, right?
That's right.
Like,
you be trying to put me in naked people clothes.
No, I don't.
That's okay, sis.
No,
he can put you in naked people clothes.
I just try to get you to live a little, because at the same time, listen, there's a time to be conservative and then there's a time to be sexy.
And trying to put it on.
Got you. Like, you can still be covered up and sexy, but there's a certain cut. There's a certain cut. Like, you could wear skirts just right over the knee.
Right over the knee. You gotta
wear it all the way up by your crotch area. I'm not saying that. But
it can hit that knee, right, bro? Like, it can hit the knee.
I mean, come on. You act like you got some bad legs. You got some good legs.
Good. You better show your good legs off. Okay.
No, but I mean, seriously, it's real. It's real. And this is the thing. Like, these guys that are in the church that are looking at and really and truly trying to find wives, because a lot of these guys come into church trying to change their life because they don't want to deal with the hell that they've been dealing with out there in the hood. There's some good guys out there in the hood, and they're very smart, and they actually turn their life over to God, or try to get with a wholesome, good church girl.
Yeah, but she was raised in church.
I was raised in church, but I was churched out, because you gotta think about it. Like, then you wind up
marrying a pastor, but that's hilarious.
I mean,
that's okay.
I mean, but we all got them gifts and things like that. It's just where you are in life, and me being the way I've
y'all done flatline Nikki over here. Nikki is flatline.
I cannot
leave my brother alone. My brother is free. His muzzle is off.
National podcast.
That's all right. He is on the muzzle is off.
It's going to be on my page. And it's wrong, because my nephew, who is a whole bishop in the Lord's church, is on here.
That's okay. Nephew, nigga nuns. Just tell him don't dress like that.
It's true. It's true. I feel like
I have a question. For you. Women of God. Okay, not even women of God. Let's just talk about women who love God, right?
Okay.
What can they do to make themselves more marketable? to marriage.
Okay,
Don't
be
dress
nice.
like a nigga nun.
Did you say
Okay.
be nice?
Be nice.
Okay, I ain't asking him nothing else. So
See, here's
because
the deal.
no.
No.
I cannot
No.
deal.
Be nice.
Tell him again, bro. Be nice. Tell him again.
This is the.
Do
This
you
is
know how many church women I know that are nice? No, I'm being
No,
serious.
no.
I'm serious right now.
No,
Let brother say
So
be
you're
nice.
being serious when you say be nice?
Listen, the reason why I'm saying be nice, because guess what? There's a defense mechanism. A lot of these women that are in church have not healed from whatever hell they've been through. And guess what? They got their guards all the way up and they're not approachable.
And they
You
not
can have-
nice.
You can have the baddest outfit, the baddest bag. But if I can't get a hello from you or and a smile, and the first thing you're gonna be like, praise the Lord, I don't even want to talk to you.
So if you say, okay, so you meet me in church, say hi.
Hi.
Praise the Lord. So you just gonna walk on off?
Oh no,
Why you
that was
can't say
nice.
hi?
That was nice.
Okay, so let's do it again. Say hi.
Hey.
Praise the Lord.
They don't come with that energy. It comes from a different place. You're talking to a different individual. I feel spirits.
Oh, now he's TD Jakes.
I feel spirits.
I can't deal. So now you.
I feel
I'm
spirits. I'm sorry.
Okay, I cannot deal with it.
Listen. I feel spirits because listen.
You feel spirit.
You know why? Because
Oh.
guess what? Every woman think that you're trying to holler at them.
And you just
And
trying to
guess
say
what?
hello.
And guess what? Guys can't be. You don't leave room for men to be gentlemen at all at this point. Like we don't even want to hold the door for you because
I want to know when you started feeling spirits.
oh, listen, come on, I can feel stuff from a mile away. I'm like, oh no, your spirit ain't right.
He right. Sis, you know he does.
Well, I'm
Listen,
gonna
you know
say
why?
this. What
Well,
I will say-
hold on. Now check this out. Y'all women feel it too. Y'all women feel it amongst each other all the time, which is always why there's always like a tit for tat or a wrestle with something like, it's always going to be that between y'all. So what do you think we feel?
Well,
The same thing.
I do agree with that. But what I do want to say is this. I think that a lot of times in church, because I'm going to say this about him, and this is a plus. This is one of the things I really judged him a lot on the company that he kept.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely did because, church musicians are crazy. Now, he's not a church musician anymore.
He's a musician.
No, he's a real
Yeah.
working musician. And I had a hard time with that initially because I was like, look, I know what goes on and what I don't have is time for that. Okay. So for me, the thing that was impressive is everybody that was in his immediate circle was either married or engaged at that point.
And they still are.
You know
Because
what?
I think at that
It's
time,
a few of us.
because I think at that point, AV and Ashley had just got engaged or something like that. Like
they were engaged and then they got married.
Right. Yeah. And so for me, everybody because, and I'm going to be honest, at 46 and he's 40, what I don't have time to do is play no games with nobody. And my nephew is on here. Okay. That people have seen me go through some really interesting things from a dating perspective. And I think at that particular time, if something would have went wrong, I think somebody would have hurt somebody at that point. Because I remember there was one point where nephew, as much of a bishop as he is, he was ready to do ridedownthere.com on something that had happened. Okay. And so for me, even though he was not necessarily a church musician, I knew he came from a family that was good.
Mm-hmm.
And him being the younger man that he was, all of his friends were married, involved, serious, and that helped me to make my decision. Now, the reason why I am totally embarrassed at what he just said is because there are a lot of women out there that in church, we are taught a certain way, okay? We're taught modesty. A lot of us are taught hard to get, and I don't even know why, because we really shouldn't be. And so when men are looking at women in church from the outside in, you know, a lot of men think church women are easy prey, if we're honest. Mm-hmm. And this is the sociologist in me talking, where there's a measure of you know, just observation that is consistent in church settings. A lot of men look at women like, I can get them draws. I can get them. And guess what? They're not wrong. Am I wrong?
Well, here's the deal. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never had that experience. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well, that's because that wasn't what your level of intention was.
Well, but no, it had nothing to even do with that. Me personally, stopped. Matter of fact, I never went after anybody like that.
But that didn't mean you didn't bust something down when you had the opportunity to. Because
yeah, but
I went to church with you, so I know.
But that was how many years ago?
Yeah, but the point that I'm trying to make here is that when you are looking at church women, and I'm saying church women just for lack of a better term, so please don't nobody inbox me or get offended.
Don't at my sis.
We want to be wives.
Yeah, but see, here's where you're wrong. Even though y'all want to be wives, a lot of them are not qualified to be wives. Bottom line, they're not.
So let's level set it, right? Because there's levels to all of that.
Yeah,
right? There's levels to all of that.
Hit him again.
Don't hit my brother. Now,
violence is not the way.
It's not the way. Martin Luther King said nonviolence, resistance.
Love conquers all.
That's what the Bible says.
Yeah.
Love
conquers all.
Hello. And it also covers a what? A multitude. I'm just saying, it says, don't do my brother. Anyway, so there's levels to it because there's different types of women in the church. There are those whom are extremely easy to get. And I find that that's those of you that like to wear them church suits because they're very ugly. But anyway,
here we have it.
You just want them hats and the suit and the shoe to match with your white pantyhose, thinking that it represents something that says that you're pure. And then next thing you know, your legs is open to the pastor, the deacon, the musician,
there's
the
levels
damn
to that.
usher. There's levels. You understand? Because for you to open your legs to the pastor, you got to be up here with your level shit. That's what I'm saying.
Better than everybody.
Sis, we just keeping it real. We know this happens.
But you got to understand, the pastor in me right now is cringing.
And you should cringe because this happens in the church. Cringe worthy is really good worthy because it actually does happen. But that's why I'm saying there's levels to the women that actually do attend the church. So we have to understand that we're not talking about all women. We're talking about a certain level because there are the ones whom truly do want to be married, right? Yeah. But they are then categorized with the foolishness of the others.
And then the pastors are straight up cop blocking. They're not teaching. First of all, these married pastors are not helping. Okay, they're not helping, and they're married. They're a whole married man, and they're not helping single married women get men.
No, that's real.
They got them working overtime.
In the church.
In the church.
And then not even that, you have the ones whom are married that they then have working overtime in the church as well. And then it creates a dynamic within the household that says it creates a struggle in the household a little bit. So we got levels here.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying there's so many levels to this, and I'm just putting it out there. Me being that guy in the church world, being a head drummer at a really, really large church, very well respected church, I've seen some stuff. And like even, it's no different than the streets. You have women, that are out there that only deal with a certain type of dude that's out there in the street, just like you have women in the church that only deal with certain dudes in the church. There are ranks.
But babe, herein lies the thing for me. You have traveled all around the world as a professional drummer, not even a church musician.
Right.
You're going to marry a church girl.
No, here's the deal.
So what I'm saying to you is that there is still some promise of women that are women of God, that love, the people of God, that respect and understand church tradition, because that's ultimately what you came back to.
But hold on. There's a time to turn it on and turn it off.
Oh, well,
you still
that.
Right. But I'm talking about the approachable part.
But what I'm saying is when you're looking at relationships, and if you were talking to young men in the church, and they were saying, oh, I really seen this girl in church and I like her XYZ, your approach, what would you tell them?
Well, I mean, okay, what do you like? What are you looking for?
Okay, it's obvious that what they're looking for is they like him. You're not a church girl. You're way too around the church.
Yeah, so it's girl. Like, okay. I mean, so and this is the thing.
And I think that's the difference, because church girl is totally different from woman of God. Those are different dynamics.
So let's define church girl.
Okay.
All right. Let me help you.
Or church lady.
Let me help you. I've been in church all my life, right? Mm-hmm. Have you been in church all your life?
No.
My whole point. Case in point. You have people that see, these church girls have been raised in church. And when the moment they were able to get out, they went crazy. They went crazy. And some of them, they remained in the nest. They remained in church, which is, it's cool. But you have to be approachable. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being a church girl. You have to be approachable. You have to have a life outside of church.
You do. It's imperative.
And guess what? And where I come from, they don't, where I've come from in many different situations, guess what? They don't teach that.
They don't.
They really don't teach that. They don't have, and then on top of that, who do young women have to look up to? Because those women ain't married. Them women ain't married. They're jacked up. So who are they going to run to? Who are they going to ask questions to? Another bitter female pastor?
I do agree with that.
Like, there's a whole bunch of women following one person in particular, and they all get on my nerve. Every last one of them.
Sweet Jesus.
They don't.
I might agree with you, bro. I agree. It's like a cult.
They don't have a mind of their own.
You said it's a cult.
It is. It is a cult.
It is.
Bro, I'm with you.
And this is my whole point. There's a lot more of that. I'm speaking to that. I'm not speaking to the ones that are all right and just can't seem to find a man because all the other guys are, they're booty goons or whatever. But I ain't got time, that's not what it is. For real. I'm just putting it out.
They do be booty goons. We're gonna tell the truth. I was married to one. Go ahead.
And guess what? I have nothing against them neither, because guess what? In the end, all they need is love. All they need is
I just need them to go find love from the booty you want.
All they need is love. All they need is an open arm from a real dude. Be like, yo, listen, it's gonna be okay. You want to talk about it? That's the problem. Real straight dudes have not embraced the gay community in a way that they need to be embraced, which is through love and acceptance. Like, yo, listen, I get that. But if that's all that's in the church, guess what? That same holy roller would rather go out there in the street and get some dude that she ain't got no business being with. And then that's that. I seen it happen to the best.
And then there's also a flip side of it, right? Because for those of us who were not raised in the church, we get a stigma as well, right? Oh, yeah. Because you weren't raised in the church. Yeah. I got told that so many times.
Like, you ain't have a right to have none of the men of God because you Gomer.
Who want them anyway?
You a harlot.
Ain't nobody.
Let me tell you something. That was.
I remember Usher at the church when I first got saved, honey. They brought me a little long skirt from Rainbow. Yes, they did, honey. He handed me a bag on a Sunday, and was like,
well, at least they handed you a bag. Let me tell you something. Because I wasn't raised in church. I knew who God was, but I wasn't raised in church. My family was Catholic. So I went to church on Sundays for 45 minutes, and that was good for me. Hail Mary, Mother of Grace. Okay. I was happy with that all my good life, right?
True.
So for me, it was very different. My experience coming into the Black church was like a culture shock of the church world that I wasn't prepared for all that happened. Right?
I mean, you gotta remember, I came and I had tattoos and all that kind of stuff.
I came, I had on, that was back when, now everybody's wearing, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, stuff is covered now, but I got tattoos and
I mean, I had low rider jeans on. That was back when everybody was wearing low riders, you know what I'm saying? That was back when everything was deep V's and all this other extra stuff or whatever. And I was a hoe. I was a slut.
Minding my business, loving God.
No, because I was dating. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, I'm not gonna lie, but that didn't make me a whole more slut. You understand what I'm saying?
Because they change. They tell you, your appetite should change. When you start changing the way you dress, the kind of men you attract gonna change too.
And when I did change the way I dressed, right? When I started really covering up, wearing turtleneck. I mean, they were turtleneck sweater dresses, so they still showed my good body or whatever. But that was besides the point. It was, she dressed like that because she want these men in here to see her. No, I didn't want you to see me. I don't care about y'all.
To be honest, I don't think I really knew any better at that point. I mean, when I first got saved, I really didn't. I just came.
But you gotta, but you gotta also understand too. Our thing is visual. We want both. We want variety. Like if you
should have it.
Sexy conservative, but when it's time to show out, show out.
So what do you think about Megan Good? Because Dr. Nicole just made a very good point at how the church attacked Megan Good, which is probably a lot of the reason why they're not married now.
Well, see, even with the whole Megan Good thing, my whole personal...
Because remember when they got married, you was like, why is he marrying her?
Yeah, that, and then also it's like when you look at them two together, first of all, they've been together for how long? Y'all ain't got no kids? Ain't stirred up no kids? Like,
I just always thought he was
a
booty goon.
Yeah, but even with that, like, that's one thing you don't do, and that's the problem that I have with people that are big influencers. They mess around, they get married, and then all of a sudden they got all the answers to just stay in your lane.
Because they done wrote a whole book,
like and capitalizing on it, like big time. But I still think it's wrong for how the church attacked her and her character and who she is. But I got to tell you this. I got to cut you. The church attacked her, but which church? Because that man, her husband, he's Adventist. Yes, they go in. The Adventist circle, the Adventist world, that was all them. It wasn't really like First Day Church people like that.
I mean, some of us did, because I saw them all up and down my timeline. They called her all types of Jezebels and harlots.
Of course they did. But
that church really attacked her because he had to defend her 1,000 times over.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was, and I've seen it. But I'm talking about his background, and why it was so aggressive. Because guess what? Them same people I used to date a girl that was in the Adventist world, and guess what? That whole church, that whole scene, they rip you a new behind hole if you come out a certain way, or if you did something, or whatever, and they kind of sort of hold it over your head. So she got it 50 times worse. So I get it. Yeah.
No, she really did, but I think that's part of the reason why I am the way that I am today. I live free of all of that. I don't have time like Bishop Loholt just said. He's talked about the church has become a subculture that we are taught to fit in rather than the example for the world to follow, right? There was one time, I never forget, it was years ago, probably back in I think it's 2015, some bishop guy from out in Florida was, trying to tell me I was his wife or whatever. But when he actually met me and saw that I did not fit the mold of what he thought I should, because I had on skinny jeans and I had on a t-shirt, and women of God don't dress like that. You should have on a skirt down to your ankles and a turtleneck. And I said, and who the hell made you the guru of fashion? I said, at the end of the day, you're wearing polyester. Are you really sitting here judging me because I got on skinny jeans and you're wearing polyester? And it became something that I literally bucked against at that very moment. I said, you know what? I'm tired of this so-called culture that says you're supposed to be free in Christ Jesus, that you're supposed to be all these great things, and you become a new creation in God, but you're trying to recreate me in you. I don't need to be created in you. I need to be created in God. And who I am in God far surpasses who you're trying to recreate me to be in you and in this image. And I kid you not, the man then became a liar. And I pray that somebody knows him. I would say his name, but I'm really trying to be very good in 2022. But because he literally, the woman whom he said was his assistant was someone who he then married like maybe 6 months later. Because that's how deep this stuff goes. And this is what people fail to understand. And I watched all this stuff play out, even with the old fatty bishop I was married to. You know what I'm saying? The things that happened literally changed me for the better, in my opinion. Some people don't agree, but to me, it changed me for the better, for the simple fact that it made me recognize who I am. So you got to, everybody has to learn how. Don't make me say his name. What was his name? I'm gonna think about it, because I will say, because I really don't care, because I don't like none of them people, and they know I don't like them. So what was his name? I'm gonna find it. Watch. But anyway, but that all of that stuff began to really shape me, and I was like, you know what? I'm not with none of this stuff. And then Fatty Bishop, I learned how not to be with any of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I learned how to stand out. I'm going to stand in my truth. I'm going to stand in truth. I still know the word of God. I still love God, but y'all not going to keep trying to do this, all this. It's like we got a whole square, right? Y'all got a square, and I'm over here all shapes and sizes, and y'all trying to make me fit in your little square. And I'm not doing the squares anymore. I'm not praying how you want me to pray. I'm not walking how you want me to walk. I'm not going to dress how you think I should dress. My hair, I'm going to wear my hair however I want to wear it. If I cuss, oh well. If I sip on my podcast, oh well. You know what I'm saying? Because we've done something to people where we want them not to be people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not dealing with it. Wait. Pastor Nicole, she said Fatty Bishop is going to turn right with nigga nuns.
Yeah.
This is your introduction to my whole world, baby. Here you go, okay? But you know what? I wouldn't trade him for anything, because one thing, if there's nothing else, I can depend on him to be honest. And I think for me, the thing that I do love the most about him is that he definitely balances me. He checks me, which anybody that knows me is definitely a challenge. And he's very protective. He might not be the big bodyguard that, kind of stands in front. He lets me, do my thing and my shine. But I know that for him, a lot of times with me being as public as I am, of a person, for a long time, I think that was challenging. Was it? No? Was it? No, it wasn't. Well, I thought it was challenging for him, because we're very, we were very private about it. One thing I learned from watching other people's relationships kind of play out on social media, especially when one person is maybe a little bit more high profile than the other one, is keep your business to yourself. Don't tell nobody nothing until stuff is finalized. And the way that we introduced each other, just kind of even into our circles and things of that nature, was I had to force him to
his name was Eugene Porterfield. That's it, Bishop Eugene Porterfield out of Pensacola, Florida, that told me
Porta potty?
that I should not be wearing my skinny jeans. Eugene Porterfield. I remember that.
Porta potty?
Him.
Porta potty?
Told me I shouldn't be wearing my skinny jeans. I had to Google. I'm like, Bishop Eugene. I knew the name was Eugene. Yep. Told me I should not wear my skinny jeans.
Porta potty.
Him. Something very profound.
This is
Sorry, sis. I just had to.
She started it.
It came up.
And this is why I don't let y'all get together, because y'all are messy. But I'm not. I'm saved correctly.
Don't do us. Don't do our version of saved.
Yeah, because y'all it's not up to us.
Not up to us.
Okay.
I'm still saved. Jesus saved me.
What I was saying was that me being definitely a person that was a lot more of a public figure, in a lot of different arenas. A lot of people know me as, prophetess or prophet, but in the world that I live in, and that is my vocation, Dr. Holcomb is a very prestigious person, lecturing and different things of that nature. And I think for him, introducing him to just the various parts of my life, little by little, and seeing his levels of comfortability was the thing that finally allowed me to be like, okay, I definitely know that he is never going to do anything to embarrass me, that he's never going to, tonight he's doing a lot. But we thank and bless God for editing and the fact that we can change privacy settings on the podcast for later, because booty goons, nigga nuns, and porta potty, along with whatever
Fatty Bishop
are all going down.
Fat.
Rainbow children.
And
they will rise. They will rise.
That's why that's my brother.
Just like the rainbow children rise.
And so for me, getting acclimated into each other's worlds was a challenge. And I will say that because for me, I had to force him to allow me to give him a 40th birthday party, and we made it a very intimate situation where it was really, just his intimate crew and kind of his best friends and things of that nature. And that's when I think people was finally like, well, all right. Of course, I had met his mom and his two sisters. He is the baby of 3. And he acts like it, and they treat him like it. And so, for me, it's a beautiful thing to be able to just see him relaxed, to see him allowing this to happen, because I remember when you first asked us, I was like, I don't know if he's gonna agree to that, but you guys have been around each other, so you are his good sis, and that is your brother, and so you've been with us in various settings where we have been very relaxed, and he was
as
like, oh, that's this right there. I remember when something was going down, he was like, well, we need to ride out, what we doing, and so it is a blessing to be able to just be comfortable and confident in the love that I have with this person. I remember, when I was, telling one of my sorors, what was going on and, the progress and different things. And she was like, well, I'm not judging anything, but, I just, a woman of your stature, and it was just kind of like, I know that there is a measure of expectation, just like there's a measure. I mean, like he's used to dating like super bad chicks, like model, like kind of human beings. Okay. And me being a breast cancer survivor, those were hard conversations for me to be able to be like, I ain't got no titties, right? Let's be honest. I remember having that conversation with him, you know, because as you all can see clearly, you know, one hand is you know, a different size than the other. And, you know, I remember, you know, him kind of looking and not saying nothing and looking. And I was like, so you want to know why my hand looked like that? And then I told him, I was like, you know, I had breast cancer. And, you know, one of the side effects of me having breast cancer, you know, is they had to remove my lymph nodes, and it has caused this limb on my body to be disfigured. Is this going to be problematic? You know what I mean? Because the reality is, you know, you wait this long to marry a woman, you want all the pieces to be what they supposed to be. You know what I mean? And he's used to dating women who are super fine. He's used to dating women who are singers and dancers and entertainers and are from that world. And, you know, for me, that was very challenging to have that conversation. Like, you know, when you unwrap this present, finally, it ain't gonna be everything in here. All the pieces ain't in the box.
The pieces is there. The right pieces was there, sis. Okay, that's why he with you and not with the model chicks and singers and whatever else he had.
You know, it's
okay. It's because
they're returning to the store talking about it's missing some parts. It's some parts missing. You know, and when I tell you, he was as much of a gentleman as anybody could be, and it was just kind of like. Ain't nobody thinking about that. You know what I'm saying? You know, it was like a comment, something like breasts is for babies or something like that. You know, just, you know, something real nonchalant and reassuring. But, you know, it was just, that is one of the other ways that I knew.
We probably should have did this in person. This would have been totally.
Well, you know what? We'll come back and visit one day. We got off to a rocky start, so I know the audience kind of dwindled away. But you know, even down to the way that he approached me. You know, people can laugh at inboxes, but you better check them DMs, ladies. I'm trying to tell you what I know, honey. You better check them DMs. When a brother say you a nice compliment in your DM, you better look and be like, oh, okay. Now make sure he ain't crazy, and now all the women on his, like all the friends on his page ain't girls and women and booty models, and make sure that you kind of stalk the page and make sure he ain't clicking on Instagram booties and carrying on like that. But
carrying on Instagram booties.
Me already kind of having some background with him, with us attending church together, and then me knowing his mother. His mother was my first Bible school teacher, who I love. I hit the jackpot when it comes to mother-in-laws. And sister-in-laws, Mona. But for me, you better pay attention to the DMs. If a man say something nice to you, what you say, they not nice?
No, they not.
You better be nice. You better be nice.
Better act like you know how to smile.
You better be nice. If they tell you, oh, you look nice, and it wasn't even anything overt. I think he just was like, I really like your picture or whatever it was. And he said, I think I still have the screenshot of it somewhere. But it was like, it was really nice. And then when I tell you this man worked hard, he worked hard. He worked hard.
Hard for what?
For me, you did work hard. Don't act now. Don't,
bruh. We know you worked hard. Turn around, sis. Get it. Go ahead. Come on.
You worked. You put in work.
She moved that microphone, bruh.
She can move the microphone all she wants.
Oh, so you didn't work,
bruh?
I remember. Okay.
Sis, one day somebody had lied. One day somebody had lied.
I was in my prayer.
You see, Nicole is on. She said, "I'm still on, Lefty."
Yeah. I was in my prayer closet.
You was in a prayer closet?
I was in my prayer closet. And
you had a prayer closet?
I was in my prayer closet, and she liked it me because I was a worship warrior. I was a warrior. A prayer warrior, and I was praising God, and I was praying with my shirt off, and she
girl,
and she ain't never been the same thing.
One day,
bro, I'm with you, bro. You was in the prayer closet with your shirt off praying.
I was in my prayer,
going in,
and I was in worship, deep worship, and sweat. Sweat was dripping down my back, and she was like, and she did just that.
What she did?
And I caught her, And it took me out the spirit. I was like, yo, you gotta stop doing that. And I grabbed my shirt out of her head and I walked out.
Also,
That's
you ran
what
off
happened.
like Joseph.
I walked out.
Also, I tried to catch you up like Potiphar's wife.
Listen,
Right.
And I repented.
Lies. A lie to tell
And I repented.
I'm gonna lay hands on him later.
And then I said,
No.
I said, use marriage.
No.
I said, use marriage. And you know better than that.
No.
You know what?
One day, somebody had lied. And that somebody
Use marriage.
is the
You know better than that. You know better than that. You know use marriage. Yeah.
You know what?
And that was it. That's
See,
how that happened.
sis, he play all day. You know, dog.
and it's okay. But you know what? I think everybody needed that laugh tonight. You feel me? I'm not even. He said he had his shirt off and sweat was dripping down his back.
He said he was a worshiping warrior. You know that's a
I
lie
was a
from
prayer
him.
warrior.
You know
I was
that-
a prayer warrior.
Oh, you was a prayer warrior?
I was a real prayer
What
warrior.
is Psalm 1? What does Psalm 1 say?
Don't do my brother.
What's your favorite
It
scripture?
doesn't matter.
What's your favorite
Doesn't
scripture?
matter.
What's your favorite scripture?
Doesn't
All of them, bro. Say all of them.
What's your favorite
Why
scripture?
have thou played hateth thee? That's my favorite scripture. My scripture is, why has thou played hateth thee?
Bro, that's in the book of Lefty. You feel me? Verse 1.
That's right.
You know the Bible say don't add and don't take away unless the plagues that's in the book gonna be
Okay, here the
so
Catholic people
Listen.
can add a minute.
No. He worked like a man should work. He was driving. How many miles you put on your car trying to come and see about me?
Oh, really? That's what we're doing?
Yeah, that's what we doing because we gonna tell the truth and shame the devil tonight. What you will not do is have these people thinking that I tried to chase you down.
Listen.
Try to run you over, maybe. I ain't trying to chase you down. What
You know what? I tried to run over one
was
person.
working.
See,
And,
see how abusive she is?
So, bro, let me ask you this, right? So there's nothing wrong with a man driving to see a woman
And
that
he
he's
put
interested in.
Miles.
No, I mean, no, there's nothing wrong with it.
calling from Finland.
Bro, you was in Finland. You was overseas, bro.
Yeah.
But you know what? But that was your level of interest.
I mean, yeah, I had a whole nother phone to be able to call back home. So I had a whole nother phone. I still
You heard
got
that,
phone.
sis?
Mm-hmm.
He got two phones. He got two phones right now because he wanted to talk to me. Can we
Make
talk for a minute? Now that's the Can We Talk challenge. Now that's the real Can We Talk challenge. That's the Can We Talk.
For a minute.
That's the Can We Talk challenge.
Boy, I want get it. He wanted to hear your voice, sis. He was like, I just need to hear her voice.
Oh no. There's the church version. Pastor started singing.
I don't want that version.
No, don't sing. No.
Yeah,
No. Okay, so what?
God, I want to know your plan.
The Lord already released.
That's what
his
they
plan.
said.
That's what they said. Okay.
That's what the church said.
That's what the songwriter said.
You better read the Bible and know the plan of the Lord.
Oh no. So sis, he put work in and it just happened to work itself out. And I need people to know this because
Know it. Come
I don't know
on.
why people think, but this is not COVID love.
No, y'all been together.
Yeah, we just didn't tell nobody. It wasn't
You
nobody.
definitely didn't. And I didn't know his name for a long time. I knew his name as one name, and then I learned his name.
You knew Bay.
That's it.
Yeah.
Bay and Poppy.
See.
That COVID love is running around,
I didn't get COVID.
That
love.
Omicron, Delta, Omicron love is running
I
around.
didn't get that love either.
COVID relief.
COVID relief.
That's that COVID relief love. Oh, okay. I didn't get none of that.
COVID relief.
Ain't no COVID love happen over here.
COVID relief.
But y'all wasn't COVID love. Y'all been together.
No,
Mhm.
and we had challenges. There was days I know I worked his nerve.
Sometimes
One thing
you
I
do
will say,
that.
well, you know what? I'll be honest about this. One thing I will say is he is definitely the more patient of us.
What I will say is that sometimes when we're dealing with things from the past and we still haven't kind of resolved, all that stuff. It takes a patient man to be like, okay, wait, now listen.
That's exactly how it was.
I know you was, bro. I know it.
That's
I know
exactly.
that's how you was. And Nicole's gonna co-sign that because she was there.
Yeah,
But I know that's how you was.
exactly how it was. Like,
You know,
oh,
but
you
it
know,
takes. I ain't gonna hold you. I had some people pull my good card because I was annoying.
yeah, I get it. I get it. I get it. But I mean, when you've seen a lot and when you done it all, it's like, okay, let you have your time. You want a drink? Here. Simple.
It is.
Simple. It's just that simple. I mean, like I said, it took me a while to get where I am. It took me a while to get to where I am. Everything that's going on. I don't want anyone to think that I'm against the Rainbow Collision, the Booty Goons, or the tripping pastors. My thing is this: is just know your place. And I encourage women to be nice. I encourage women to change up a little bit, have a life outside of church. You know, you don't have to be holy and bugged out at the same time because you looking crazy right now. You looking real crazy, and it's cold outside. It's cold. It's very cold.
It is.
And you have a better chance now more than ever getting a man. You know, you're gonna have to set aside certain things. You have to make some sacrifices. Just both parties are gonna have to make sacrifices when it comes down to trying to make things work. But most importantly, you gotta be nice. New York alone has already gained the reputation of being a place where it's really hard to date.
It is.
For real. Like everybody's a scam. Everybody.
You don't know who nobody is.
Oh my God. It's so hilarious. Everybody's a scammer.
These comments, girl, I can't.
Everybody's a scammer.
The audience is about as wild as we are. Lord have mercy tonight. Y'all are not helpful. Y'all are not helpful. Everybody's a scammer. Huh?
You don't know who you getting, when you getting them, how you getting them.
Man.
It's a shame.
Yeah, it's a shame, but there is a way. There is a way to. Be nice, be less masculine, way less. Your power is in your femininity.
Yes, it is. Say that again. Period. Your power is in your femininity. Say that.
That's where your power is. Because guess what? When you sit back and you think about it, just think about it. You know, when let's just use Family Matters, you know, or any other black TV shows. We talk about Black Love. We talk about Black Love.
Go ahead.
Whenever the husband in that black TV show was really, really, really pissed off, it was his wife that had to go down and calm him down. And how did she do it? She didn't do it roaring back at him. She was like, now you could relax. Right. And guess what? It works because guess what? One of the main things, my mom, I'll never forget. My mom and my sister looked at her like she had like 5 heads. She was like, your brother listens. Your son listens.
Mm-hmm. Oh, like, God, yes.
And the thing is that I'm always listening. Let me go through whatever the hell I need to go through, whether the news is good or bad, but I'm gonna always come back because it's like being punched. It catches you off guard. You're gonna wobble, but you still standing. Mm-hmm. And that's how it is with men. And until women understand that, and don't put yourself in a place in his mind or in his heart where he can't communicate with you. For real. Like, don't ask for the truth and you ain't ready for the freaking truth. Don't ask for it if you're not ready for it. And that's one thing that's happened with me, with everybody most people that I've been with. I was able to just tell them, like, yo, listen, this is what it is. And it didn't come from a place of me not caring. I'm like, no, I'm just telling you what it is. You gotta be ready for that. And if you're not ready for that, yo, keep it moving. Yeah. Keep it moving, because I'm not gonna feel, you're not gonna make me feel like I cannot express or say anything to you. And right. I've bottled a lot of that energy up for many, many years, and I let it all out. And I've been at the best piece of my life ever. And even with strangers, you know, like sometimes I gotta talk to all kind of people. I don't have a problem with letting people have it. I don't, male or female, definitely
let them have it.
And it comes from a place of love, understanding, knowing the situation. And I warn you, I'm like, yo, listen, I come from a totally different place. We're not going to play those games of you sitting here trying to play like you holier than thou, or all the boxes are checked. It's not. You're a jacked up human being, and I don't have a problem telling you you're a jacked up human being. It's just that simple. So that's just my advice to women. If y'all trying to get booed, and you know, whatever you do, just be nice. Be you know, just leave that area of conversation open for anybody that you're trying to pursue. It's that you should be okay.
What you say, sis?
Well, you know, everybody's love story is different. You know, I think that I just want to, for me, give Black women hope that there is still Black love out there. You know, sometimes I look, especially at my sisters who are more on the accomplished side. And one thing I want to encourage you to do is see people for who they are. And don't allow yourself to be one of those people that, you know, just, you know, cast out potential candidates aside because they don't fit the matrix that you have built, thinking that this has to be what it is that it has to be, or you're just going to wind up being by yourself or with somebody that's from another race. You know, there's hope. There's somebody that will love you with your deficiencies. There's somebody that will love you through patiently. There's somebody that is willing to pick up the clues of your life and say, this is what it is that I know that this person needs, and this is what I am willing to make as an investment in order to keep that person in your heart and in your life. You know, looking at the church dynamic, he has showed out tonight, but he's not wrong. You know, I'm a little, you know, just feeling some type of way because, you know, I just didn't need him to say that the first night that we're introducing him to the whole entire world. But, you know, I can't expect him to be nobody but who he is. And, you know, that's one of the reasons that I love him so much, is that he's honest, and that, you know, I hope that, you know, we as women of God understand that we still have to keep and hold to a standard, but, you know, he don't have to speak in tongues and roll on the floor in order for him to be a godly man. Because when I tell you that this man covers me, when I tell you that this man prays for me, and I'm not saying, I mean, there are people on here who know us in real life. I know that there's a whole, menagerie of folks out here in the world that, you know, they out here fronting, but we got people right on here that if we was lying, they would be like, nah, that ain't how that happened. And it's the truth. You know what I mean? And so I think for us, building together from a financial place, building together from a place of legacy, building from a place of family, that we have, you know, successfully navigated enough of those tests to get us to where it is that we need to be. And we are looking forward to making it down that aisle. He says it's going to be a show. So I just, he's the stylish one out of us, and anybody that knows that when he came into my life, we kind of upgraded some things. I always had little designer stuff here and there, but this one right here, he just, he keeps me together. So I'm leaving him in charge of all of the things. So, when we're not telling the world exactly when that's going down, but those of you who know, and let him tell it. It's going to be a movie, so I'm ready.
I am ready for the movie.
Pastor Nicole Simpson.
Pastor Nicole Simpson.
I would like to shout her out because, first of all, I know with her, and I have never seen this. I've never seen this. Definitely when it comes down to female pastors. Listen, I don't know about you, but I need a man, and so do you. Thank you for that. Thank you for admitting that. Thank you.
Oh God.
Thank you.
What did she say, babe?
I need a man, and so do you. Because
that's real.
I don't need no man.
Please don't invite us back.
I'm telling you. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
If we had more female pastors speaking that way, they'll get their self together. Real talk. And I'm talking about the ones with the big platforms with the nigga none outfits. Them. We targeting them. 2022. Me and you, we gonna do some big things.
Bruh, let's do it.
Pastor Simpson, we're gonna do some big things together. I'm gonna give me a little collar too. Give me a little collar and all that. Yep, I got you. Because I'm gonna be there, and I'm gonna help. Because that's what this was. The restoring of a black man that's going to be coming up soon.
I love it.
Because
that's good.
Because the thing is there's nothing better than another dude telling another dude, yo, listen, this is what you gotta do. This is that's what you want. All right, well, this is what you're gonna have to have in place. This is what you're gonna have to have in place. Blah 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 blah. This, that, and other blah. And you have. We're gonna set up a builder booth for the church folk. A builder booth. A builder booth. A builder booth.
Build a boo. Build a boo. Build a boo. Build a boo. Build a boo.
A bigger boo. A builder boo.
Why is he not talking about loving her?
You must have missed the whole beginning, crackhead. I don't even know what your name is.
It says Crackhead Harold or Crack Harold. It says a different vibe here. Why is he not talking about loving her?
We holistic over here. We talking about the whole. We don't even. That's on YouTube. I gotta figure out to find a moderator for YouTube.
Because it's a legitimate question.
But he didn't.
He might not have been tuned in earlier, so it is a legitimate question. It's his. It
sound like somebody that wants you. That's what it sound like.
No, it's old.
Nah. Dude, trust me. Chill. I'm not that guy. Dude. Trust me. Stay in your lane. Whoever that is, stay in your lane. I don't know who you are. Stay in your lane. Chill. Real talk. You weren't here earlier. You just destroyed the entire moment just now. Chill. So back to the good stuff. The builder booze and all that other good stuff. That's what we on. That's what this whole deal is about. And I think it's needed. I think it's needed more for men than women. Women, y'all already know what y'all need to get together. Men somewhat don't. I don't think we take as serious as we need to what we need to do to get ourselves together to be able to hold them down. And we lack in that, you know. We lack in that, whether if it's emotionally, it's not just financially, it's emotionally, spiritually as well. And I think that sets the tone and that sets the balance, because you got a lot of providers out there, men that provide for real, and their wives aren't even happy because they're so busy providing. Their children don't even know, who they are because they're always out. And it showed during this whole pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
I know musician friends who finally had a chance to just sit home and finally, and their child didn't even know who they were. And he's been providing for them the whole time.
Yeah. That's very true.
And it's scary. It's scary, 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 scary. And definitely if you're that kind of guy that likes to build and who's a creative and you're single, you might want to think about who you want to be with, what type of woman you need to be with. That plays a whole part, because if you're the type of dude that's a creative, you don't need a housewife. You don't need a housewife. You need somebody that's going to take on your legacy to teach, and then turn around and teach your son or your daughter how to run it and sustain that thing that you built from the very beginning. Because the last thing you want to do is work up all the stuff, and then you croak out, and the stuff is being sold after you worked really, really hard for it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's been one of the biggest fears that I've had, and I've seen that in real time. And I was like, ugh. I seen a major empire go straight to hell. And that's because the man didn't have his woman there. He had a whole housewife, and now it's gone. So yeah, definitely.
I like that. That's really good for the men.
Yeah, definitely.
I really like that, and for the women as well.
Yeah. I mean, our women aren't. And that's the thing. Our women, y'all not too far. Y'all got a little work to do. And the first thing is just be nice. It starts with just being nice.
We need to get t-shirts made. That's it.
Yo, I really am. Just be nice.
Just be nice. Somebody say hello. But your spirit of discernment is there. You'll know if the dude is acting stupid and just being whatever. And then you'll know if it's coming from a genuine place. That's why we have gifts. Women know.
Be nice and be safe at the same time. I will say that, because we got some in the recent news, a woman just denying a man a request for a phone number. She got shot in the face. Another woman got beat down. So
another one got slapped.
Yeah. So we be nice, but be discerning as well.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just got to give that number to make it home safe, to be honest. And I'm not going to front. I was faced with that. I literally was walking up the street to go get coffee, and dude appeared to me to be very deranged. Yo, sis, let me get your number. And I'm like, do I just say no and keep walking and this nigga like try and beat me down? Or do I just give a number and know I could put it on the block list later and just walk a different way if I need to go back and get coffee and I feel like walking? And that's what I did. You give a number, put on the block list, and then boom, you keep moving. Because for me, it was best for me to make it home than to sit up here and try and fight a dude in the street. Like I'm not built. Right, I can't. Right. I'm not gonna beat you. I'm not even gonna sit up here and act like I can.
And always make sure if you're single and you're going out and you want to be out late, leave a little early. It helps. It helps prevent that. That really, really helps prevent that, because sometimes these women be putting themselves in that situation. Like,
bro, it was the middle of the daytime. I was getting coffee. What was I supposed to do?
Oh, listen. I got you. It's called a 22.
It's a 22. Pew, pew, pew.
It's 9:53. We have.
It's a 22. Pew, pew. Nah, but let me tell y'all something. I thank y'all for y'all rawness and y'all realness. I know, sis, you know, me and bro, when we get together, it's just
mess always.
You know what I'm saying?
Always.
And it was going to flow on the Muzzle Is Off, because this is what we do. We just flow, you know. But I appreciate the rawness. I appreciate the honesty. And the fact that both of y'all have an awesome character. Y'all have great integrity. And y'all have great morality. And it all gels together. Donnie said something earlier, and he was like, you know, sis, he's not embarrassing you. He's your balance. He balances off all, you know, sis, we got EDU over here, you know what I'm saying? And then we got my brother here. My brother is just like, he's like, no, because y'all was looking like this, and I didn't want that. At that time, I didn't want that. What I wanted was a woman of God. I didn't want a church girl. I wanted someone who understood God, who loved God, but also knew that how to cater to a man. And I think that's the message. You can love God and still cater to a man. He is a man. Yes. Is he praying? Yes. Is he worshiping with his shirt off in his prayer closet? Absolutely. Sweat dripping? Okay, fine. But how do I cater to this man? How do I be the woman that this man needs? And I think, which is part of the reason why I said, y'all got to come on. We're going to do Black Love. Bro and sis, I need y'all on here, because y'all have a very good balance with that. Despite everything that y'all went through from the beginning, right? To make it to where y'all are today, where y'all literally have great communication. You understand him to a different level and a different degree. He understands you to a different level and to a different degree, to the point where now I just feel like we getting married. Okay. I can't wait. Hello. We getting married. You know, I can't wait for this wedding. You know what I'm saying? Because this is something that I feel that is going to be very important for everybody around y'all to even witness, right? Because like you said, everybody whom he was with was already married. He was still trying to find his way. You know what I'm saying? Sis, we know, and you were still trying to find your way. We sometimes when we find our way with the wrong people, and then we gotta U-turn, come back. You right? And then we find our way to a person that's just perfect for us. It doesn't mean that we ain't gonna have problems. It doesn't mean that we ain't gonna argue. It doesn't mean that I might not like you today, but I still love the hell out of you. Therefore, we're gonna make it through whatever it is that we're going through, and it's gonna be us. And I love that. I really do. And it's something that anytime I do something, I always got to make sure I got my good background for what the hell I'm talking about, right? And it's something that Nikki Giovanni wrote in a poem that she wrote in 1968. And come on and throw up your sorrow. Come on. Ooh, what y'all do? Ooh, what y'all do? There you go. Let me say this before Deltas get mad. I am not a Delta. I'm around her enough to know. Okay. I don't want anybody to think I'm trying to use their likeness. Y'all not gonna do me like how AKA did Issa Rae. I'm sorry. Y'all not gonna do me. Okay. Sorry, sis. I had to throw that out there because they tried. Anyway, let me not do. Okay. What Nikki Giovanni said in her 1968 poem is called Nikki Rosa, and she said, "They never understand Black love is Black wealth. And they'll probably talk about my hard childhood and never understand that all the while I was quite happy." One of the things, and this is why I wanted to highlight Black love. I don't want anybody to think that I don't understand that there's all types of love. I'm perfectly fine with that. But I'm a Black woman who supports Black men, who supports Black women, and who supports Black love. And the reason being is because, just like something Lefty said from the beginning, it has been something that has been taken out of our culture, down to how even the structures of apartments are set, to the point where the more money you pay, you will get your living room and your dining room. But the less money you pay, you'll get a so-called joint room that doesn't really have a place for communing. The only place you have is a bedroom.
That's it. Work yourself to death.
That's it. So I believe that it is extremely important that we discuss Black love in its realness, with real people that you can actually touch. You could see Dr. OJ on Facebook. You could see Lefty on Facebook. You could see them out in the street. You could see them. You could touch them. And it's real. It's something that is tangible. It's not something that is so far-fetched. It's real. We understand that there are certain aspects of love in general that sometimes are not conducive for the health of any individual. But we have to understand that a lot of that comes from an unhealed place, a hurt place. And we can't associate a hurt place with the place of love. It's totally different. And where y'all are at is a totally different place. It's called the place of love. And that's why I said, nah, we're going to support Black love. And we're going to have my good friends on here, my good Black couple. You know what I'm saying? That I love y'all.
And we love you.
Absolutely.
You know, and this was great. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how much editing the good Dr. OJ would like for us to do. However, I just feel that the realness and the rawness just needs to be accepted by everybody. So it will be on iHeart and Spotify in its great raw form, because we're just this raw and we're just this real. And just letting y'all know ahead of time. But and it's because of that, because this is what Black love is. Mm-hmm. It's power. It's authenticity. You know what I'm saying? This is who we are, you know, and y'all represent Black excellence. That's Black love, Black excellence. You know what I'm saying? Black culture. This is who we are. As a musician, one who creates is Black art, Black love. Black love is art. So I'm all for it and I'm all with it.
Understanding.
Period. You know? So we are closing out, but we will have y'all back on. But I think the way we're going to do it is we're going to do it after the wedding, and we'll have y'all come right back on. But hopefully, prayerfully, all these COVID variants and all the brothers, sisters, and cousins, you know what I'm saying, will be at a low, so that we can do. One thing about me, I'm cognizant of everyone, and I want everyone to be healthy and safe and everything. So that's why, you know, because we would have done this in person, but I just want everybody to be safe. I can't, you know, Dr. OJ, like you know what I'm saying, like you said, you had breast cancer, everything, and I'm cognizant of anybody that has any type of condition, comorbidity, any type of anything. You know, we have to be and I'm just going to end it with that today. We have to be cognizant of that and how we move in this life. If you don't feel well, stay your ass at home. Okay, tired of y'all infecting other people, and you know you didn't feel well. I felt that way when y'all niggas run around here with the flu, and I feel this way about COVID. Yep. Stay home. Oh, there's some of us that like our lives and like our lifestyles, and you're affecting it.
Now, I don't know if you caught this online. There was something online. They were on a plane and seen another passenger texting, you know, they let
yes,
we got COVID
on the plane. That's you have no regard for people. That's not love. Yeah. You know, and stay home. Your nose running, stay home. Okay.
If you cough, stay home.
Stay home. Don't cough around
now,
me.
Alexa, if you cough around Alexa,
what's she doing?
She gonna report you. That's how they got it.
You know what?
Listen, I'm telling you, Alexa, she ain't your friend.
Let me tell her she better mind her business.
And to all a good night.
I'm gonna tell Alexa she to mind her business. All right, but like Dr. OJ just said, and to all a good night. We love y'all. Next week we back.
He says.